What is up, Rapid Potential YouTube? Welcome to today's video. We've got Calvin here helping out in the shop. We're stacking the engine. But first, before you guys watch us stack an engine, I'm going to talk you through resurfacing housings. So one thing that we did on this engine is we resurfaced the housings. I've got footage of us doing it at Charles' house. And the reason we did that, grab one of those, Calvin, is most of the time when you run one of these rotary engines, these are the irons or the housings from the i-rotary seals in that half Bridgeport engine from the right-hand drive. That's all trash. Most of the time, when you take them apart, they're super polished in here. You might have some grooves. Well, on a rotary, there's no effective way to hone the housing, much like you could hone a piston engine. The cylinder walls, you have a little ball hone or the one with the fingers on it that when you pull it out too far, it gets to your hand really bad. And those, you like make a nice cross hatch pattern on your cylinder walls. Well, Charles has a way with some Home Depot tools to effectively hone a rotary engine housing. So these are them finished. Obviously, we got to wipe them down. They got some stuff on it from paint. But notice, nice smooth surface, not all the way through the coating, and it just cleans it up. Takes the grooves out. And you can see some of them in there a little bit. So we're not being that abrasive to it, but you're just cleaning it up. Help a new apex seal to the engine. So that's resurfacing housings. It's super easy. It's really not a... you don't want to do it by hand, right? You want to have like a cylinder or something so you get it even. But it's not as complex as you think. You don't need a fancy machine to do it. Just a little sander from Home Depot. So anyways, Calvin's helped us stack rotary engines before. We've kind of taught him the ways. I was joking with him earlier that he kind of could just do this for me and I could watch. Be a good test for him. But we're going to knock this thing out before dinner. I've already went through and Calvin helped a ton getting the irons clean. I want to thank my neighbor Cole for letting us use his pressure washer cabinet and getting these irons really clean, which is the first time. There's kind of some people commenting on my like cleaning process video I uploaded a while back about asking questions about that, and if you could do it in a cabinet or a dip it or whatever, what would you do? Well, we just used a pressure washer cabinet. It got these things real nice. Got the coolant areas really nice. Got all the crap off of them. Cleaned these grooves out really well and put them back in here. So we've got the rest of that clean. That stuff's got fresh paint on it. The rotors are already assembled, which I did just a bit ago. So I like to build the rotors not in the engine. So I'll assemble oil control rings, side seals, corner seals, and all of that. And if you need to learn about how to assemble rotors, how to clearance side seals, how to fit apex seals, the whole deal, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, so definitely subscribe. Go check out those other videos if you want to learn, and drop questions in the comments on those videos, and I can help answer them for you. Front stack stuff, all clean and set up. E-shaft ready to get installed, not backwards. And I think we're ready to go. What do you think? You ready to put this thing together?
Yeah, I think so.
Calvin's laughing at my joke because I did build an engine with the E-shaft in backwards, and I got it all done, and then I figured it out. So you can put these together with that in the wrong way. Fun fact. We do have some fresh i-rotary apex seals to go in it, and the springs, O-ring kit, yeah, ready to go. Y'all have seen it before, and if you haven't seen one of these engines get fully put together, the full comprehensive deal, I have like an hour-long video that goes through every single piece of it, explains it all in detail. Go check out that video. For now, we're just going to crank through this and hopefully get it in the car tomorrow, and then I can get it all buttoned up this week to get started. So let's get cracking.
Easy.
Also, this little part here where the seal is glued together, align that with your intake port. Too. 6 for 6 all of them dropped in. Alright guys, we got the engine stacked up. Almost record time. I think we did it in like 35, 39 minutes or so.
Couldn't tell you.
The video was 47 minutes long, and I turned it off, and we had our intro and this, that, and the other. So, if you remember, I built an REW that was blue and black a while back, and when I assembled it, it was harder to turn over than normal. Okay, so with all my rotary network of people, we kind of figured out that it should take around 15 foot-pounds to turn over a rotary engine. So I got my torque wrench set to 15. This should turn before it breaks the torque wrench. Notice. Come in. 15 foot-pounds. Turns. So we're good. Now, the reason I checked that is because on the last one it took me 20. And that was just like something didn't feel right. So I took it back apart before we ran it. We found the issue. Go check out that video, which is good. But this thing's all stacked up. Sounds good. i-rotary apex seals are in there. It's just a Street Port REW. Nothing crazy. All OEM Mazda parts. And ready for some braps. So tomorrow, Calvin and I are going to figure out how to get the blue car, Montego Blue FD. Right here is going back to the owner's garage because I don't have room to keep it here because I only have this bay and I need to put an engine in. And also, the only stretch of concrete that I have on the entirety of my property is this piece of concrete. So there's no like installing it in the driveway or whatever. So we got to get that car in here, the blue car on the trailer, and then Calvin is here because he brought little Stu down. So get amped because after we finish up these FDs, we're hopping back to some first gen stuff. So get fired up. But we're gonna get these cars moved around and we're gonna get this engine stabbed in the car. Alright guys, so I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's really hard to get cars into my shop because of the incline coming up into the shop, and FDs, I can't push FDs from the back. The bumper's too plastic. On like a first gen or an SA or my truck, I can use my tractor with a tire on it and push cars in here. So we got this cable. I put a D-ring in the floor and we can effectively pull away from the shop to pull the car into the shop. And honestly, it worked pretty much flawlessly. If we didn't have the white E30 there, and I could have put the cable directly under the car from the get-go to just pull straight down the center axis of the tire, we wouldn't have had to switch the cable around. But the car's in here, ready to stick this fresh engine in, and I'm stoked and appreciative of Calvin for helping me out. So I'll dress this up and get this set in the car. Alright guys, I'm seeing close to 31, 32 thou of in-play, which is not ideal. Let me check what spacer this is. See, now I wish I had a lathe, because then when you have too much in-play, right, it means your spacer's too big. If your spacer's too big, you can turn it down on a lathe, and I can make it smaller by the exact amount. We'll say if I'm at 32, the range is 16 or something, 17 to 28 or something like that. I got the book, whatever. But if I can turn it from 32, take 10 thou off of it, and then be at 20, then we're right in the middle of that range. But these in-play spacers have letters to denote their thickness. So this is a D right here. I'm going to check from this other engine. Like on camera, those are the exact same. As much as you would think one would be that much different than the other, I'm just going to stick this C one in here. Tighten this baby down. Make sure you don't get this thing pinched on your... Take that off. Don't pinch your Torrington bearings, guys. You'll ruin it. Alright guys, the moment of truth. I grabbed the other in-play spacer from the previous, i.e. the half Bridgeport engine that was in this FD. Since this is a whole nother engine, in-play's different. But the half Bridgeport engine had a C spacer. This one had a D spacer. In theory, it should be smaller. So let's see. Literally, we're going to see if the in-play is less with that spacer, which it should be. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now we're right at 20 thou of in-play with the C spacer. So I'm going to go ahead, box this one with that other setup. Since the new engine for this car, which we're piecing this car together to go to Deals Gap. That's why this stock engine just got rebuilt real quick. We're going to put it in this car, or well, I guess it's a Street Port, but not an aggressive engine. It's the same irons that were in the car before. So this engine got refreshed. It's going back in the car. We're going to run it at Deals Gap. We're going to build on the channel a half Bridgeport REW from all brand new bits for this car. Then that engine will get installed in this car in addition to like Haltech, different turbo, and we'll change everything at one time so that way it gets retuned properly and then it's ready to rip versus like, you know, installing the engine, trying to run this old Power FC, etc., etc. Anyways, the short story of it is the in-play is good using the spacer from the old engine so I can assemble the front cover and get this thing ready to go in the car. But I did get stuck doing a whole bunch of other stuff, so I'm going to leave it at that. Because, yeah, today was busy. Getting the blue car out of here, getting this car in here. You saw the whole debacle. I installed this anchor and dragged this in here. We pressure washed the bay out. The other thing that's crazy, which it's not a rad potential thing, but I've had this hackberry tree over here that needed cut down, so I cut that down too. I just get on a roll with stuff, guys, and start doing things. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. This engine is basically ready to go in the car, but not really. But we've got this thing freshened up. I'll get it in the car tomorrow, get it fired up the day after, and then this thing will be ready to go, and you guys will see it in the videos, and Richard's bringing that new engine by tomorrow, and then he'll bring me the laptop so I can flash a tune, and we'll be ready to fire this thing up. So, with that, guys, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys learned something. I know we glazed over resurfacing these housings to get this thing fresh for those new Apex seals. I haven't compression tested it yet, but it sounds good. Cranks over good. I guess I can compression test it on the stand before I put it in there, but I'm confident that it's got good compression. And we'll get it in the car, and if it gives us fits, we'll compression test it then. But I don't know. Maybe I'll probably end up compression testing it on the stand. I really don't have a good starter laying around. I have an FD starter. Anyways, whatever. Neither here nor there. It'll probably get compression tested before it goes in the car. We'll put it in the car, get the thing fired up, and be ready to go. Whatever. I'm talking in circles. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. If you want to learn more about, like I said, in-depth rebuilds of these engines, if you want to learn more about, I don't have a ton of FD content on the channel. There's some when I was piecing this car together, this, that, and the other the last time. Plus the Montego Blue car, which just left today, which will be back in a little bit. But if you want to learn about first gens, you want to learn about the details of porting these engines, you want to learn about different types of ports, you want to learn about this, that, and the other, go check that stuff out. Subscribe to the channel, follow along with the builds, learn more about these engines. Since most shops don't work on them, the only place for this stuff to get done is for you guys to do it yourself. So let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Keep it rad. Letty is on watch. So the neighbor built a shop, a new garage. That's like his property kind of overlaps some of mine. Not this neighbor here, but the neighbor over there. It kind of overlaps mine, and his shop up here, when he turns the lights on in his shop, you can like barely see the lights through the trees. And the dog goes nuts when he's out there in his shop at night because she can see him. Usually during the day, there's no lights. She doesn't even know. He could be running around in there. You never know. So, I wonder if that fire's going. Oh, wind noise. Oh, yeah. Can you guys see the healthy glow? Nope, you can't. Either way. Look at this guard dog. This is a long outro. Peace, dog.